Napoleon Bonaparte led the country of France 1799 to 1814. He was the first man to lead using revolution and nationalism as a way to back his military force. Napoleon is considered one of the greatest leaders for his ability to expand his empire and lead his country, but in order to understand Napoleon better, we need to start with his early life. Born in 1769, Napoleon was raised in a poor family of nobles at Ajaccio, Corsica. Since Corsica was French-controlled, Bonaparte attended French schools. He was able to join the military as a French artillery officer, where he was quickly able to work up the ranks as brigadier general. Napoleon was able to defeat Austria in a series of lightning victories that led to the Treaty of Campo in 1794. Bonaparte's campaign was known as a success and was considered a hero of his country. The last force remaining against Napoleon in the coalition was Great Britain. Napoleon was able to gain power of France because he seemed to be the best candidate at the time to lead. Abbé Sieyès was a director who proposed the idea of a new constitution. He thought he could use Napoleon and then disregard him, but Sieyès had greatly undermined Napoleon, who quickly took Sieyès out of the picture, and in 1799, Napoleon issued the Constitution of the Year 8. This new constitution had created a system of checks and balances similar to the Republican theory. It established the rule of one man, which was known as the First Consul, Bonaparte. Now set as the First Consul, Bonaparte gained peace with much of the Second Coalition to end a lot of the fighting between the countries. Russia had already left the Second Coalition. The Treaty of Lunéville put an end to the fighting with Austria, and the Treaty of Amiens brought peace with Britain. This brought peace to all of Europe. Bonaparte was able to restore peace at home. He would use flattery, generosity, and bribery to win over the country and its people. He was able to create a lot of nationalism in his country so that they would follow his orders and have faith in his decisions. Now that his country had gained faith in him, Napoleon believed that establishing his dynasty and making himself emperor would secure his new regime. During Napoleon's coronation, he had crowned himself to show that he was not dependent on the church or religion to help him lead France. Napoleon created the Napoleonic Code, also known as the Civil Code of 1804, because of his new power. This new code kept all the abolished rules and the privileges based on birth that were created during the Revolution. The code was able to safeguard all property, and now the eldest child didn't receive all inheritance. It was instead distributed evenly. The code was overall set in place to secure French society against internal challenges. During Napoleon's reign, he was able to conquer most of Europe. Many of his accolades included being crowned King of Italy, the Treaty of Pressburg, which had Austria give up land due to the loss of Russian and Austrian forces against Napoleon's forces.
The rise of Napoleon in France had effects that echoed throughout Europe. In Germany, many nationalists wanted to establish their own United State without the influence of Napoleon. To avoid his influence, German nationalists worked furiously to work out their own political issues. Prussia continued to resist Napoleon and attempted to use his own tactics against France. Prussia also made significant reforms in order to build up their military. In Spain, Napoleon replaced the Spanish Bourbons and placed his brother on the throne. When Napoleon ran attacks against some churches, the people saw it as an attack against their religion and fought against France, winning the battle. On the other side of Europe, Russia was angered by Napoleon's actions in the other countries. In an attempt to assert dominance over Russia, Napoleon led an army of 1 million men to invade Russia to take over the capital of Moscow. During Napoleon's invasion, the Russians followed the scorched earth policy, burning and destroying all of their land and resources behind them, leaving nothing for Napoleon and his army. Over the winter, Napoleon lost about 500,000 of his men. After his loss in Russia, an alliance formed against him. This alliance was made from Austria, Russia, Great Britain, and Prussia. Napoleon defeated the Allies at first, but the Allies fought back once again and defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Nations. Soon after, the Allies took over Paris, and Napoleon was exiled to the island of Elba in March of 1814. Soon after, the alliance met at the Congress of Vienna to discuss and decide on the new European borders and division of land. In France, the Bourbon monarchy was restored, and France joined in the discussion in hopes of appealing to the alliance. Back on the island of Elba, Napoleon's need to lead could not be contained. Still with many supporters, Napoleon made a valiant effort to take over France. Napoleon was defeated once again at the Battle of Waterloo and exiled again to the island of St. Helena. Austria, Russia, and Prussia all joined forces and formed the Holy Alliance. Later in 1815, Great Britain rejoined the alliance, and together they maintained peace throughout Europe for almost 100 years. After the fall of Napoleon, a new age took over all of Europe. Europe changed its views from the Enlightenment to the Romantic movement. The Enlightenment was focused on fact, reason, and logic, while in the Romantic age, thought shifted into emotions and focused on the individual person. With the introduction of the Romantic movement, the arts thrived and brought back Christian themes and the true beauty of nature. In the Romantic age, a new group of writers established themselves, writing more poetry and fictional stories. Also, popular themes included childhood and the emotions of human nature. While previous art movements focused on the extravagant decor and bold colors, the art of the Romantic age featured simple themes such as landscapes, and with the use of color and contrast, evoking strong emotions that reflected the idea of romanticism. Other changes in the Romantic age were also seen within the church. Under this movement, the Methodist Church developed. Following the same values of Christianity, Methodists are free to establish what they think is their relationship with God. Under the Romantic movement, Europe saw a rise in nationalism and the understanding and respect for other cultures, and knowing their differences and benefits to each. With a sense of pride for one's country and a want to be part of that country, Europe was in the stages of unity that advanced them further into history.